Good morning. It says I'm live, so hey everybody, I'm live. It's good to be with you today. Um, I hope that there'll be some people that will join me today and chat and we're going through the storm with you. We really are. And so I hope everybody is going to have a blessed day and happy Labor Day. And I hope everyone's well. And so I hope that there'll be some people to come in. Um, Chat with me because I'm not. I know I'm silly too. Okay. All right. For those who may watch this video after done, this morning was a little surprising as far as Dorian was concerned. I was up till almost to 1 a.m. I kept posting links and hoping that everybody was, well informed. There were several of you all who were still up and awake with me, and so I was there with you. I know that there will be many people that will watch the channel and not say anything or chat, and I know you're there. So I'm just trying to keep everyone informed, and sometimes I find it comforting to me um, for you to know that I'm there with you and that we're watching the storm together. Um, I would want someone to do that for me. If it was me and if I was in your shoes, in your place, I would want someone for me. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Somebody said, um, uh, do you live there? Are you in the path? Well, when we were watching Oroville Dam in California, there would be many that would ask us, do you live below the dam, or affected by this? Well, I think we all, as Americans, should realize that we're affected by this. Um, this storm is affecting over 8 million people directly, and indirectly, it should be affecting all of us around the world. Um, we never know when something might happen, or oh my goodness, there are people here. I love people. And I'm live. Good morning. So good to see you. Happy Labor Day. um, Good deal. Thank you so much. What a blessing. Oh, that might just be old news. But anyway, I'll treat it as new news. Um, this storm is affecting all of us. Um, and we all need to have positive thoughts for one another and continued prayers. Um, there is a spiritual being that lives inside of us. Our physical bodies just contain a being that wants to reach out to others in times of trouble, whether you realize it or not, whether you refuse to let that happen. There is that need, and that is your soul. And this is a time for all of our souls to reach out for one another. These are very trying times for many people. Hey Pamela, good afternoon. Where you is, where you are? Yes, it would be afternoon. It's still morning for me. I'm in Central Standard Time. Uh, I hope you. I was up till almost 1 o'clock, and finally one of our mods, Tater, came in, and he only had 3 words for me. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep, because I know he was watching, and he saw that I was working, and that I had been at it all day long, and he gave me good advice, and he said go to sleep. So I said okay, good night, and I turned in. Pamela, I'm thinking about you. Bless your heart. Uh, hey bot, as far as the storm, And its location, we all know that it has slowed down. It's gone down in category to a 4. The winds are at 155 miles an hour. They reached 95. Some of the gusts, I think, around the storm did reach 195 miles per hour. The pressure has gone up in the storm. It's kind of unusual for it to fall down as low as it did to 910. So now it's back up to 922, and it has taken a little bit of a turn. Um, I think it's a little too soon to celebrate and throw the hats up in the air. But when I went to bed, it was a little south of the Bahama island of where Freeport City is. Um, then this morning when I looked, it was just a little bit north of the island. So the eye is trying, is coming off of the island a little bit, and its direction now is west northwest. So we're going to keep continuing hoping for a north turn, and I'm praying for a north turn and for safety of everyone's lives, um, because there's something very valuable in each and every one of us, and it is our souls, and it's something that we should think about. Your soul is made up of spirit. I'm sorry, mind, will, and emotions. Um, we tend to get hung up with the physical thing about our emotions. Um, and we know what it is to exercise our will, but do we know what it is to have a good sound mind and a good peaceful demeanor about ourselves? So I ask that you would consider talking with God during this time and asking Him what His will is for your own life, so that you can gain possession of your soul. There's one thing that we don't want to happen is for something to happen to us like that happened in the Bahamas yesterday, for something to take us off guard and us not be able to ask God to forgive us of our sins and to take our eternal souls in His hands so that they're not lost. Um, and so that's a good thing. Okay. Excuse me. So Dorian has taken a little bit of a northern turn, but we still want more. Meteorologists are still wanting to see a bit more of a turn, um, but it has is sitting right now. It's moving at 1 mile per hour, so that's gone down since I got up shortly a while ago. So it's sitting at a west northwest heading. It is moving at 1 mile per hour. It is a category 4, and winds are still high. But this storm has a bit of lift in it, and it just seems like with volcano calderas and and things like that, sometimes lift is not good. This storm is pushing water. It is sitting, it is turning, it is pushing water. There is an incredible storm surge ahead of it. So be expecting that, coast of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. There's always already been some beach erosion in the Florida area. If you are with us on WD Livestream, we are at Cocoa Beach. And I took a look in on Cocoa Beach. Hey, Susie. Um, to see what was happening at Cocoa Beach, and it looks very stormy. If you will consider that the storm is sitting about, I'm going to round it off to around 100 miles from the beach, that look is very much to be expected. I saw a hurricane. I saw a hurricane coming into the shores of New Jersey, Point Pleasant, New Jersey, when I was there. And we had to warn. Every day we would go to the beach and we would look out, but each day we could see it getting darker. The clouds would be bigger. The air would feel more humid sometimes, even in a ocean breeze, and very ominous looking. And I would stand there and I think, God is bigger than that. And so keep that in mind that this thing is bigger than any of us. And it reminds me of the woman that was live streaming in the Bahamas yesterday, and she was saying, "Pray, please pray for me, pray for us, pray for me and my baby, pray, pray, pray." It's at those times when we are being tested that we realize that there's no one for us to call on for help. Um, a helicopter, a the National Guard, no one was able to help at that particular moment except for one thing, and to her it was prayer from others and God. And a lot of times we will spend our lives and we'll get into a situation and there's no one there to help, and you cry out the name of God. Um, but there are things that will come into play there. The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. You need to be in right standing. You need to be in a relationship with God and ask Him for the forgiveness of your sins, to repent and ask Him to fill Himself with you, fill yourself with Him, excuse me, and to know the power of God in your life. Um, every day now, God surprises me with that power, and I hope that each and every one of you know that same power. Okay, we have schools out across the four coastal states for today, of course. Happy Labor Day, and in most places for tomorrow. Around the Jacksonville area, zones A and B in Florida are to be in evacuation. The inlet, the Jupiter Inlet there at the river, is going to have flooding. They're looking at a possible 12 to 18-inch volume of rain alone will cause flooding. So, with the rain and the storm surge, there's going to be definite flooding. In the state of Georgia, around the Tybee River, they were giving residents sandbags to fill, but only 20. You could only have 20, but people have been filling sandbags. People are preparing with food and water. Um, you need to have all your emergency plans intact now. Hey, Granny, it's good to see you. Have your evacuation plan intact now. If you are going to hunker down and stay in place, have everything you need now, today. Don't put it off. We may be looking at something overnight tonight and in the morning. So it's best to be prepared. Right now, Dorian is sitting still. It is at 1 mile per hour, but there are, as in far as movement, but its wind gusts are 200 mile per hour in some places. Um, there is still a hurricane warning for the Bahamas. As of last night and this morning, there is a hurricane watch for the beaches, a tropical storm warning for further inland. That may have changed since this morning, so I would just consider, if you've got a hurricane within 100 miles distance from you, it's a little bit more than just a hurricane watch. To me, I would think of that as a warning. It's too close for comfort, put it that way. But it is in a stall over the Bahamas. It did turn north. It took a south turn late last night into the early morning. And like I said, it was a little south of the Bahama Islands last night, about 12:30. And then this morning, when I looked again, it had made across the island there and has taken a little bit of a northwest turn and had crossed over to the other side of the island. But Freeport is still in a not in a good place. The eye wall is still definite. Last night they were hoping that this eye wall would do what they call a replacement. That there's an inner wall and an outer wall. If the outer wall, if the inner wall will break down and let the outer wall kind of take over, the storm will weaken. And so I think that's probably what we've seen going from a Cat 5 to a Cat 4. The storm has weakened a bit. Um, I'm watching, you see me looking up, I'm watching the Weather Channel on my TV, and this is their update that's coming through. Uh, South Carolina, I 26, all lanes are traveling north. Today, they are evacuating. It's mandatory. So, please be watching your zones there also. There are coastal cities, Charleston or Wilmington, are boarding up and taking traffic lights down, and they are telling their residents to please consider evacuating. In a lot of places, it is mandatory. Okay. Outside of the area, there are probably close to 1,000 trucks, power company trucks, tree trimming trucks are sitting there and they're ready. They're waiting for for them to go on into the state and to help and get in there quick so that whatever winds and things that knock limbs down are going to they're going to be there as soon as possible, and also to restore your power. So expect power outages, expect flooding. Um, and most of you have already been through a hurricane and you know what to expect. I would like to hopefully that B. Blood will see this. He's a resident of Florida, and he's one of my subscribers on my channel. And I uploaded a video this morning, and I hope that everyone enjoys it. I have a small, I do a little Bible reading, a little bitty study on my channel. I try to make it short for people that don't like long videos. And he's in place. He's staying in place. He's prepared. He's got everything he needs. And he kind of let me know this morning that it had weakened a little bit, but there were still squalls coming in. And so if you live on the coast, you know what I'm talking about. Dorian now is at 155 miles per hour, and still only moving at 1 mile per hour. So this is going to slow things down, people. We're in for the long haul, it looks like, in watching Dorian. Please excuse me while I take a drink of the coffee. It's Folgers decaf, and it's good. It's only got like 2% of caffeine in it, but it's good. Oh, Granny, I was going to tell you guys, my church recently sent 3 or 4 people down to Peru, and they took money and food, and they went up into the mountains into a village that sells their coffee beans. And coffee retailers don't pay the villagers what they deserve for their coffee beans. They just give them a little bit, and they live in poverty. Um, so they went to Peru and they went to the village and they took them food. They took them more than enough money to buy coffee beans, and the coffee beans that our church bought from them are going to go to Birmingham, Alabama. And Birmingham is, we have a place there that's going to prepare the coffee for us, and then the coffee is going to be shipped to our church. Um, the church has a small little coffee cafe in it, um, but we're going to be selling these coffee beans from the country of Peru um, for others. Excuse me, I have to prop my arm. Hi, Van Dam. Um, and so it's going to be very exciting to be able to taste coffee beans from Peru. I don't think that I ever have, and them be process, just especially for us. So I'm looking forward to that. So if any of you would like to buy some, I would like for you to be a part of that. You can get in touch with me on my channel or through here at WD Livestream. We're live streaming at Cocoa Beach, Florida. And when I get some more information and when the beans are shipped to us, I'll let you know. And I'd be glad for you. You might have to uh, give me a few dollars for postage or something, but I would like for you to be able to enjoy those coffee beans with us. That was something that we wanted to do for the people of Peru. I also wanted to mention that in the state, the country of Fiji, there was another 6.7 earthquake today. They were hit really hard yesterday with more than two, and that magnitude is worth taking note of. Granny, I'll try to get you some coffee sent to you, and it would be our pleasure. I don't know how many pounds. I don't know anything about that yet, but we're all excited about this coming through for us. Okay, a little bit on the outskirts of the Bahama Islands, and there is a bit of a north northwest turn. The outer bands are throwing water. Sorry, it's a cell phone. The outer bands are throwing water onto the coastal, the coast. There is beach erosion at Vero Beach. It was the waves were coming into their sand dunes at the top of the beach. There is also erosion. I'm sure there's probably some, maybe a little bit at Cocoa Beach where we are. Um, I noticed that the waves, one of the channel owners that's doing our streaming, and they are great at WD live stream, the waves were breaking up farther out and becoming more pronounced, longer, if you would. Cocoa Beach has a very wide beach. The Cocoa Pier will start farther away from the pier house itself. So there's quite a distance there. So there may not be quite as much erosion at Cocoa Beach as there is at Vero Beach. Vero Beach is getting quite a bit of it, and you see that they are in rain, they are in winds. Um, there have been 37 advisories put out for Dorian. We are seeing down around West Palm and perhaps Dania, there is a 2 to 4 foot rise in waves. And if you go to WD Livestream and you go into our chat room, you can type exclamation mark weather in any state or any city that you want to, and even across the world, and it will give you the weather conditions for that area. Last night, most of the night, the winds there were 18 miles per hour. Before I came on, I looked in and they were at 21 miles an hour. Um, very light compared to what the people in the Bahamas are experiencing right now. Um, so let's all just, be thankful for our blessings when they come. So we're hoping for the best there also. There's not a lot of chatters today. Usually the evening is probably the best time to come in and chat. People um, are getting ready for Labor Day today. Happy Labor Day. They're getting ready for cookouts. Uh, I've got my a box of baby back ribs thawing out that I hope to be able to cook today, and we Americans like to celebrate by eating. It can be a downfall, but life is good when when we all reach out and try to support each other. So at that time, this is one country for us to. We should be we should exercise our rights a bit more here, and and in some ways probably exercise our rights a bit less, depending on what's going on. Okay, again, Dorian is at a Cat 4. The winds have slowed down to 155 miles per hour and still only moving at a 1 mile per hour. It is what most people would call, and it is stalling over the Bahama Islands. They have had, I believe, three landfalls as considered in hurricane language. They are really being battered. The um, the videos that are coming out from there is quite devastating. It is a catastrophic storm. Most of their homes are inhabitable. The roofs have been taken down. Foundation problems. Um, Palm trees are stripped, much like some of the trees are around here when there's a tornado. So these people really do need our prayers. I'd like to put a shout out to Big Mike Wallace. He came into our chat room on Cocoa Beach live stream and volunteered to help if anybody wanted to send food, clothing, or water down. He had access to semi trucks to take them down to people that need them. So I thought that was very kind. That's a great act of kindness and goodness. Right now, we're all going to have to wait to see what Dorian does, and hopefully, um, Dorian will move north. Excuse me. Granny, I thought it was just, I was just blown away by it. And he lives in the north part of the United States. And he was willing to volunteer uh, and to get it together to load up semi tractor trailer trucks of food and water and whatever they needed and have it taken down to Florida. You know why people do that? Because if it were them, they would hope that someone else would do it for them. It's our human spirit, really, that um, is within us all, um, to be good to one another, regardless of class, rank, position in life. It's the way that we're created, and this human spirit is a very wonderful thing to see when people come together in times like these. It was the human spirit that took the lady that got on her cell phone and started streaming and screaming, "Please pray for us, pray for us, pray for us." Um, that was the only thing that she knew that could help them at that time. And someone had asked me if there had been any casualties in the Bahamas. Um, per se, I have not heard a particular count, but there has been stories told about people losing their footing and the flooding and the water. Um, but they've been through hurricanes before, so I'm hoping that within their own human spirits that they were tough and that they will make it through this time. Hi, John. It's good to see you to WD Live. I'm Kathy. This is Kathy's Corner. I'm just spending some time with everyone today, kind of bringing them up on the news of the hurricane and allowing people a chance to chat if they would like to share thoughts, whatever that would come across to anyone. Governor Kemp of Georgia is telling residents of the state imperative that you take action now. They want everyone out of harm's way before the hurricane starts to make a move. Once it gets out from the Bahama Islands and into warm waters, it could gain strength and speed. And then we still have to watch to see what track and what path that this thing's going to take. It's still, there are too many variables. It is shifting, it has taken a shift, but it is stalled and it is continuing to batter the Bahamas. They are catching it. There's been three landfalls when it was Cat 5. There are still gusts of up to 200 miles per hour. Um, a hurricane warning is still in the effect for parts of the northern Bahamas. If you're trying to get live stream cameras down there, you probably won't be able to get very many that are going to be holding at this time. The winds and the rains really give these cameras a hard time. If you've been at Cocoa Beach on WD live stream, we are streaming from Cocoa Beach, and that camera itself started shaking last night. I was checking the wind speed, and it was around 18 miles per hour, and that camera is still shaking as of today. So, and it's at 21 miles per hour unless it's gone up since I've been on live stream. So, thank you all. Welcome to WD Live. Um, this is an opportunity for me to come on and to hopefully help others in information. I'm sorry, it sounds like the same thing over and over, but when a hurricane starts, there's not a lot of things to report. It's sitting there and it is just battering. Bahamas is, you'd think that it would move and kind of give them a break. I'd also like people to know that Martin County, Florida, the fire chief is on, and there's video of beach erosion, and it is reaching the homes there on the beach of Martin County, Florida. I see that they are boarded, or what you all call shuttered, and they are braced against a storm that is now wind gusts at the beaches of Florida are constant. If I tend to look at like palm fronds, and they are bent backwards by the wind. So there is from the outer bands a lot of rain and a lot of wind hitting the coast of Florida now. Um, Hopefully there'll be some more gas trucks. Thank you, John. That's a blessing. um, there'll be more gas tankers down in those areas in Florida. There are I see several that are having to fill up with regular instead of mid or high octane gas. Hopefully those trucks are on their way down there. There are sitting at Daytona racetrack that are filled with food and water um, from the state of Alabama. If you are evacuating and if you weren't able to get supplies and you're near Daytona racetrack at Daytona Beach, Florida, please go by there and pick up a case of water. God bless you all. I can't imagine what it would be like. And second of all, there are thousands doing it. And so, that tends to make people's nerves on edge. And it's something out of the ordinary. It's something that you don't want to do, but for your safety and for the safety of others, you have to do. And so, these times, I feel I must be an empath. I have a lot of empathy toward the people that have to go. Forgive me moving the camera. My hands turning. Oh no. um, but Martin County, Florida, is really getting hit with some high waves. And beach erosion. They are expressing the need for you to be hitting the road now. Evacuations in most places started at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. It is now probably noontime. Uh, well, afternoon for Eastern Time. Excuse me, I try to be still. You really should go live sometimes. It is quite an experience um, for you. Looking out at the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, That's what I saw when I was on the coast of New Jersey looking out toward a hurricane coming in. Okay, folks. If you're anywhere near the coast, the beaches of Florida right now, you can look off and you can see Dorian. The clouds are starting to come in to where you can see the earth cane. You can see the hurricane now. I must have that Fiji earthquake on my mind. A 6.7. We'll be seeing something out of that as time goes by, but um, yeah, the strength of the storm now and the outer bands are now being seen on the Florida coast. Um, if you have not evacuated, you might want to consider evacuating. I'm sure that those that want to stay are shuttered in and hopefully sandbagged in to keep water from the inside of the home. It's not anything that I would want to go through. It really isn't. This is a monster of a hurricane, and as it sits, it will gain strength in its rotation. Outer bands are going up as far north as Jacksonville Beach, Florida. We tried to live stream in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, but the camera would not cooperate with us. And so we're doing pretty good at Cocoa Beach, Florida. We're stable there. Please check out WD Livestream. Give us a thumbs up and a like, a share, and a subscribe. You can share through texting, Skype. There are many different ways. Facebook, we would appreciate you putting our live streams on Facebook or any social media that you may have. We would like to invite you to come and watch our Cocoa Beach camera. We're hoping to be able to stay on and be able to see the hurricane as it comes in without being afraid of lives behind the camera in their homes. Most people know how to prepare for a hurricane, but a lot of people don't have the opportunity to see one make landfall. We may not see this one make landfall on the Florida coast, but to see the storm and the waves of the ocean and the winds as they impact a coastal area is quite something to see. It shows you the power that there is in weather, and definitely seeing that out of Dorian. This is a huge hurricane that is going to affect us all the way through next week, as late as Thursday and Friday in some places. So we will try to be there with you. We'll, if we have to move our live stream from Florida to another state, we will, and try to keep you up on the latest news. Um, there is going to be a lot of a lot of rain and flooding in Florida. So please be prepared for power outages. Be prepared for flooding. And people are evacuating and they're moving inward uh, through the states in all four states, and probably Virginia will be included also. Um, there are a lot of weather happenings around the United States now. So if you're a citizen, please be aware of what's going on. It's around 71 degrees in Birmingham, Alabama today. Humidity is up, of course, with Dorian. If you would, please follow with Fox Live. Fox News Live also live streams on YouTube. You can catch them there, or you can watch our chat room at WD Livestream at Cocoa Beach. And if things should get serious, I will come back on and give the latest news. I won't stay on long today because there's not much happening. The Bahamas are just getting battered. It is a catastrophic, it is a devastating hurricane. The islands are only 10 to 15 feet above sea level anyway. Um, there is no ground to see there. It is a constant water. The Florida coast is being inundated with waves. You can see them as far out as the eye can look. There is a lot of happenings. Oh yes. There again in the state of South Carolina, I-26, all lanes are northbound. All lanes are northbound for the evacuations. If you have not evacuated, please consider doing so. If you have not got your if you're not prepared, fully prepared, please do so. This is the time now. Stock up on water, stock up on food. Uh, Pamela, one of our subscribers, came up with the idea that to do your laundry, have everything that you need cleaned and ready. Have an extra pair of shoes dry if you can. Put everything in plastic bags. When something like this happens, you'll go through and you'll you'll have your shoes wet and your socks wet, and be prepared to have uh, good dry socks and dry shoes to put back on when you are not in a flood inundated area. And also, I wanted to bring up the fact that the National Guard in all states have been called upon. There are, I think, over a couple of thousand that are already out. There are boots on the ground in Florida, on the coastal areas. The rest of, oh, that's impressive. If you if you would kind of follow with us, there is cloud cover that's coming off of Dorian now that is very impressive to see. You should see that, and it will be a wall cloud of gray to dark color. The National Guard is um, when these cities evacuate, and the only thing left in them is emergency personnel, i.e., the police, the fire department, the hospitals will be on a emergency skeleton crew. If you have any injuries or sicknesses at this time, please seek a individual private practice. Do not go to the emergency rooms unless it is a serious injury or need. At this time, the emergency rooms are going to be open for your most serious conditions. Anything that's minor, please consider going to what I call docs in the box. Private practices, urgent cares, they can handle you much better than the emergency rooms at this time because they are there and they are prepared for the worst. They are prepared for injuries, cuts, um, from water, um, inhalation, maybe. So please take that also into consideration. The National Guard is out there to protect your belongings and your residences while you are evacuated. They are there to protect property. They're not there in a rescue mission. They are there for your protection. Um, they pretty well have your back door while you were out and away from your home, as we saw when that hurricane moved into New Orleans or New Orleans. Um, that the National Guard was there and was going up and down on the streets. So they will be there, but not in a rescue type situation. There are first responders for that. So please keep that in mind too, to call your first responders. Okay, Dorian went from south of the island of Grand Bahama, and has taken a little bit of a north northwest turn, but it is moving off of land, and as it moves off land, it will gain speed in the water. Okay, so and it's pushing a lot of water, and it's still has a very tight rotation, but as it moves away from the island that Freeport is on, it will gain strength, and we may see that Cat 4 go back up to a Cat 5 for some time. But we're still all hoping and praying that this thing will stay off the coast of Florida and Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. And so that's it. I'm just about out of news. Oh, please, let's all keep Israel in our prayers. I saw yesterday where there was 100 dead in Yemen. Um, there is a lot of Mideast problems that are still ongoing, and maybe I can get new an update for Iran and the tanker situation. I myself would like to know. I've been so busy chasing earthquakes and volcanoes and now hurricanes that I think that would be very newsworthy for all of us, all of our subscribers on WD Livestream. Um, and happy Labor Day. I hope that this Labor Day is one that is filled with joy and peace, and that you're with your families and that you're all well and healthy. Please, this would be a good holiday to count our blessings. Um, the last holiday, July 4th, we saw that 7 point earthquake at Ridgecrest. And that was a holiday that I'm sure a lot of people in California are going to remember. And now we have the following holiday, Labor Day, and I'm sure this is one that many coastal state residents are going to remember for the Hurricane Dorian. So let's all watch and pray. Be very aware of what's going on in your area. I hope everyone have gotten their food supplies together. I hope that you have your cases of water put up. If you took the measures of bottling your own water from the tap in 2 liter bottles or in gallon milk jugs, you can still do that now if you are still in place. You can use a few drops of chlorine or Clorox to purify your water. It's good to have water on hand to be able to flush your commodes if needed. So if you want to, that would be something to do. Give the kids to do is to bottle your water in Coke bottles, old water bottles, anything that'll hold water for you. And be sure to have. You can go to the Dollar Tree and buy $1 a gallon of Clorox to purify your water. It just takes a few drops in case that the worst should happen. That's also a good survival skill. I pray that you all have your medications in line. I hope that you all have your evacuation routes in mind. There's going to be a lot of kids out of school, and be sure to watch out for them. Um, there are areas in the Bahamas that I saw yesterday and today. There are windows blown out of cars. Cars are damaged. There is very little ground to be seen, and the hurricane is still stalled at less than around 1 mile per hour. Fort Lauderdale is getting 25-mile-an-hour winds. West Palm Beach is getting 35-mile-an-hour winds with 60-mile-per-hour gusts. Um, if you want to, Dorian is gaining strength. Um, the storm is gaining strength. It is just the eye is just about in the waters again, so it will gain strength and hopefully a little speed in going away from us. But Dorian is gaining strength. The eye is just about off of the edge of the Bahama Islands. There is some footage coming out from there. This thing is by no means over, probably through Friday or Saturday of this week. So I'm going to go and I'm going to let you guys know that it's still at 1 mile per hour. It's turning, it's gaining strength. It is outer bands are hitting the coast of Florida now. You should be seeing winds from 35 to 60 mile per hour with gusts. Um, I hope and pray that everyone has evacuated. Miami should be getting some bands of wind and rain, as well as Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. You are under a tropical storm warning and a hurricane watch and hurricane warnings. It's a mix up. It really is right now. Um, but there is going to be a lot of beach erosion. And as in with Matthew, we'll probably be seeing some of the roadway will be washed out from underneath. So please be very careful. Be prepared for anything and know that and for you, and we're watching with you. So once again, WD Livestream is streaming from Cocoa Beach, Florida. So please join us. If you don't want to chat in the chat room, you don't have to. But we'll be posting links for your information and just trying to be a friend to you of a catastrophic event. Um, and this will affect everyone in the United States on some level. If we're not there personally, we have family and we have friends there that we care about. There's been some young people come in the chat room and express the fact that they have friends there, probably social media friends that they can't always get in touch with. Leave everything in the hands of God. He's sovereign and He is in control, and that's the best thing to do to bring yourself peace and to give those that you care about to give them peace also, and knowing that you are watching with them and that you're hoping the best for them. Um, the updates are on the top of the hour. And as always, we'll hope for the best. And our prayers are with the people of the Bahamas. And we will continue to remember um, for the coastal states. And I would suggest that we all ask God for in the mighty finger of God to maybe take this hurricane away from the Bahamas and away from the coast, and just send it out back out into the ocean from whence it came. That's the only thing I could do about it. just just go away and don't come back. You caused a lot of you've already caused a lot of problems. So just go away. So, but I thank you very much for the opportunity to come and to listen to me, and I hope that I've been of some sort of help. Once again, my name is Kathy. I am Kathy's Corner with WD Livestream. We don't get paid for this, folks. Trust me, we don't. And but um, it brings us comfort within our own human spirit to be able to provide for you some sort of means of being able to see what's going on, and then we also try to provide uh, information for you to hear what's going on, and we'll provide posts and links in the chat room for you to always be up to date. All right, so I thank you very much, and I hope you all have a blessed day, a wonderful holiday. Enjoy your food and drink with family and friends. But also be sure to count your blessings today, because there are a lot of people who can't do any type of celebration because either because of the earthquake or hurricane, or having to evacuate from their homes. There are people that are going to be in shelters today that can't celebrate Labor Day. So please remember them and count your own blessings, and to realize that we're all children of God and we're all here to support each other. All right, so I thank you all very much. Thank you, Granny. She's a good one. We can count on her around WD Livestream. And to kind of remember me in prayer. My throat is still aggravating me some, so I'm not going to push it too much and try to stay on too long today. But I just kind of wanted to keep in touch with you guys. We at WD Livestream, we care about you. We're we're sympathetic to the people in Bahamas. We're empathetic to the people around the coast of these 4 to 5 states, and people that have to leave their homes. Nobody wants to leave their home. and there's probably 2 million people that are going to be evacuated in total, and this thing is affecting over 8 people. So please be very sympathetic and empathetic to other people's losses. And this is a huge loss, but I count it all joy to know that within us, our souls and our spirits are ones that help us to persevere and be strong. So God bless you all. I love you very much, and have a wonderful, blessed uh, Labor Day. And please come and visit us at WD Livestream. We're up 24/7 for you.